Shalom. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Kwakadash, and double honors to the apostle of GMS, and to the elders, the bishops, and all the sincere brethren that are labored in the truth across the world, and also to all the sincere brethren and sisters that are listening to the truth. And I pray this may be another edifying lesson to the flocks, and whoever the Most High want to read this message, and let it be heard. And before I begin the lesson, I will introduce the name of the Father, which is Yahweh, and the names mean He exists. And the name of the Son is Yahushua HaMashiach, which means the Redeemer or the Deliverer. He is only coming to redeem His people, which is the nation of Israel. And in today's age, you will identify them as the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans, which scatter on all four corners of the world and looks like the other nations, and also practice the custom of the other nations. With that, I will begin the lesson. And the title of the lesson for today is basically the land of Arzereth. So that's what the title of the lesson will be. And I believe last month, I did the book of First Kings chapter 12, which basically talk about like the kingdom split, or the northern and southern kingdoms split, which has become like a house of Judah and house of Israel. So sorry, I did that lesson like a month ago, and today will be like the land of Arzereth. I remember a couple weeks ago I saw like I forgot who was doing that lesson, kind of talk about like the nation of Israel, how do we come to our current situations. I believe I did a lesson of that last week. Let me see what was the lesson. It was about the curses, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, yep, it was about like the dispersion of Israelite among the nations, and I did a lesson. Yeah, I think that was about it. It was like how did we become separated as a people, and why did that happen? And it all started from like a Deuteronomy chapter 28, when the Mosai told us like here's all this blessing that will happen unto the nation of Israel if we hearken to His voice, if we follow Him, if we obey Him. That was the first 15 verses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. However, if we did not hearken to His voice, there will be serious punishment for that. And from verse 16 all the way to 68, that was straight up curses. Says basically curses, and these curses will follow us to the end of time, basically. And one of those curses is we will be separated as a nation. And the first major separation was basically after the death of King Solomon. That was like then the nation split into two, became northern and southern kingdom, and we were scattered throughout all four. Well, we didn't really fully scatter yet. At that time, the nation completely split, but they were living. They were still living in the same land, but until the northern kingdom got conquered by the Assyrian. So that's when they decided. Well, that's when the real split comes in, where they were split to the land of Arzereth. And from that time, from that split to now, our nation was never together until, I mean, to the last days. Go like right now, we kind of like all 12 tribes basically are on the same captivity right now under the Edomite in the land of Babylon the Great. You got all 12 tribes, but we still haven't come together yet as a nation. That's when Yahushua Mashiach come back. He's gonna bring us back as a nation, man. So that was the beginning of the a split, I should say. And in this day we live in right now, the nation is, you might even say we are completely separated. At one point we were northern and southern, which we the three tribes stayed together doing the southern kingdom, and then the last 10 tribes they stayed together as the northern kingdom. Then now in this captivity we live right now, Esau completely break us, divide us, and conquer us to the point that he not only. Okay, you'll be back. All right, I'll be here. I'm sorry. What was that again? Yeah. So not only that Esau put us under captivity, but he stripped off of our name, of the Heavenly Father name, of the Son name. Initially, that's the Most that put the Spirit onto Esau, to the point that he gave us labels. like he called us Negroes, Latinos, Native American, Seminole Indians, um, Haitians, Dominicans, West Africans, whatever land that we come from. That's the title of Esau putting onto us. So we are completely destroyed as a nation. It was up until recently when the Mosai put the spirit on Elder Abba Bevan, he put that spirit onto us nowadays to remember who we are, to remember who our power is, which is the Heavenly Father Yahweh, and who our Redeemer is, which is the Son Yahweh Shai, and who we are, which is the Israelite, and whatever respected tribe you come from. Like I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Levi, but up until the Most High put that spirit onto us, I didn't know I was an Israelite. I thought I was just like a Haitian guy that was trying that was born like in a Christian family. The goal was to make it to the kingdom, and I thought I was like a Gentile. Well, before we come to the church, we were in the Gentile mindset, but before the Most High put that spirit onto us, that is part of the hopeful. Like we didn't know we were the real Israelite. We thought we were simply like a Gentile that is trying to make it to the kingdom. But we thought we were just like a natural Gentile. But now you realize, oh shoot, I was one of the Israelite that lost our identity, and the Most High have mercy upon us and give that identity back to us. So I'm going to start the lesson basically, which is it's gonna be starting from the book of Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 40 through 46. So it's basically like 6 verses. So it's not gonna be that long. And throughout the verses, I'm gonna give like cause I already go on my Google search, do the little searching. Well, my phone is basically Copilot, and I'm gonna show the couple pictures also. So so let's start the lesson. So Second Ezra chapter 13 verse um 40. Okay, I got it now. So the book of Second Ezra, basically I'm reading from the book of Apocrypha. So Second Ezra 13 verse 40 says, "Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshia the king." So basically it's saying like these were the 10 tribes. Who were the 10 tribes? Those 10 tribes were basically the northern kingdom. Like I said earlier, the kingdom was split after the death of King Solomon. So Jeroboam was ruling the northern kingdom, and Rehoboam was ruling the southern kingdom. And those 10 tribes, I'm gonna show you that in the table of nations. Let me find the picture. Um, 10 tribes. Let me see. No, not table of nations. The 12 tribes of Israel's chart. Sorry, guys. Let me see. Okay. Let me put that video away real quick. 15. Hopefully, it's not too bright. Let me just put my brightness down. Okay, that should be good. The thing might be still bright. Still too bright. So that's the chart. I think it should be good now. Yeah, from the top three you get Judah, Benjamin, Levi. That's the southern kingdom, and from Simeon all the way to Issachar, that's the northern kingdom. So I'm gonna keep it there. So basically, the head of the northern kingdom is basically the Ephraimites. In today's day, you will call them the so-called Puerto Ricans. So under you got Simeon, which is the so-called Dominicans, Zebulon, the so-called Panamanian to Guatemalan. Then under Zebulon you got Ephraimite, which is the so-called Puerto Ricans, which is the head of the northern kingdom. Then you got Gad, which is the North American Indians. Reuben, the Seminole Indians. Then you got Naphtali, which is the Argentinian to Chileans. Then after that you got Asher, which is the so-called Colombian to Uruguayans, and you got the last one, which is Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. Those were together the 10 tribes. Well, in the tribe of Dan at that time, Dan got sprinkled among the other tribes. So that's why you're not gonna see the tribe of Dan. So basically, you might as well the 9 tribes, because Levi was basically, the Levites were spread among the 12 tribes, but since the split, the Levi became part of the Southern Kingdom, because the Levi was a priestly tribe, so by default they just go under the house of Judah, because Judah was the head tribes, but it's still sprinkle of Levites or among the rest of the tribes. Okay, so let me go back to the scripture. So that's like the brief description of the 12 tribes signs, for those of you that not know. And those are the 10 tribes which were carried away. So those are basically the 10 tribes who were carried away in captivity, because they were under Assyrian captivity, under the king, basically whom Salmanazar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. So the king of Assyria led them away captive, and he carried them over to the waters, and so came they into another land. So basically, he carried them over. Give me 1 second. Damn, let me find. I took a picture of that too. So basically, he took them away from their own land, which like that's the own land. I gotta, let me show that picture first. The Kingdom of Israel split map. Okay, it shows me. So that's the whole map. Now let me just adjust the picture again. The brightness, I should say. So, damn, it's still too bright. Too much brightness. Yep, I think that's much better. So that's the map of the entire nation of Israel. So you got Judah on the bottom, the southern kingdom, and Israel, which is the northern kingdom, on the top. Then on the top right, you got Ammon, which is the so-called Japanese, and on the bottom right, you got Moab, which is the so-called Chinese. And then on the bottom of Moab, you got Edom, which is the nation of Esau. Let me see. Right under there, that's the world map. And I think you got Philistia on the left of Judah. Left, yep, Philistia was basically Hamite. And you got also there's another one I saw. Maybe from the other one. Never mind. Yep. So that's now this one. That's the full map. That's another map. That one make you like it's more like an animated version. With the bottom is Judah, and the bottom, which is the red one, which is the southern kingdom, and the top one is the kingdom of Israel, which is the northern kingdom. And you said the kingdom of Israel is way bigger than the kingdom of Judah, because the northern kingdom is far outnumber the southern kingdom when it comes to the tribes. Bulk of the tribes are part of the northern kingdom. And I'll show you a little bit more pictures. Yeah. All right. Let me go back to the. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back to the scripture. So basically, Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Oshia the king. So they were taken prisoner in the own land, which is the land of Israel, the one I show you on the map, the top right. Um, and that the king at that time was the king of basically was Oshia. That was Oshia. That was the king of the northern kingdom. Whom Salmanaser, the king of Assyria, led away captive. So Salmanaser was the king that was Assyrian kings, and he took them into captivity, basically, man. And he carried them over the waters. So he carried them over the waters, basically. And so came they into another land. So that's why they go, basically to another land. However, verse 41 it says, "But they took this counsel among themselves." So basically, they make like a pact between themselves, and that they will leave the multitude of the heathen. So they make a pact among themselves that they will be. The northern kingdom made like a pact among themselves. Like they was like, "Hey, we're gonna split ourselves, or we're gonna cast ourselves away from the other nations, basically, and go forth into a further country." And they said we're gonna go to a further country, like a further place, where never mankind dwelt, like a place that is so far that no man has ever dwelt before. But in your mind, you'll be like, how can they go to a place like the no man dwelt before? But they already have an idea what that place was, because King Solomon have like a many expedition where he used to send the king of Hiram, which is a Hamite, to go get him like all sort of like exotic animals of gold, silver, like all sort of stuff, man. All sort of stuff, basically, man. So that's how they have an idea of that land before. But that was before the split of the nations, basically. What was I again? Yeah, so but they took this counsel among themselves that they will leave the multitude of the heathens and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt before. So that's what happened, though. They make a pact of themselves. They was like, look, man, we gotta leave those heathens, man, because those guys are wicked, man. We gotta leave them. So we gotta leave them and live by ourselves, basically, man. And we're gonna have to go to that country that is so far that no man has dwelt there before. So that's what we have to do. And verse 42 said that they might there keep their statute. And they say like we're gonna go there so we can keep the statute. What is the statute? Statute, basically the law of the Most High, the commandments. So they say we're gonna go to that far away land so we can practice our own custom. But we all know that didn't last long, which they never kept in their own land. So we're gonna practice the custom that we didn't get an opportunity to keep in our own land. That's what they said. And they enter into Euphrates by the narrow place of the river. So basically they enter like the Euphrates River, basically. Let me show you a picture of that. I got the picture of that. Euphrates River. Hopefully I can see. That is like many of the pictures, and that's a bigger picture of it. And that's the last picture. I'm guessing like it's a modern day picture. That's basically where they went. And in verse 44 says, "For the Most High then showed signs of them for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over." So basically, the Most High showed them the way. He has like a many sign. He got them to that journey, and he held like all sort of storm, basically, man. Basically, till they were passed over. So the Most High basically blocked all sort of storm, whether it's like a tsunami, heavy rain. He blocked everything just so they can get to that destination, basically. For through that country there was a great way to go. Basically, that was like a very very long journey, namely of a year and a half. So it took them like 18 months together, like a year and a half. That's a very long time to go from one place of the world, one end of the world to the other end of the world. It's like in today's age, I'm not somebody that would travel. So if you're living in the U.S. and go to the land of Israel, um, let me see how long would that take. It could be 12, 14 hours. 12, 14 hours. How long does it take? It takes to go to go to Israel by plane. Okay, so 13 hours, 13 to 16 hours. That's what it says. So it will take the flight duration will be roughly around 13 to 16 hours. So that's in today's era, and that is still a very very long flight. But to take that by boat, that take us like a year and a half. So that's even worse. So that's how long it take them to get from the land of Israel to the land of Arzereth. And the name of the in the same region is called Arzereth. So basically, that the name of that land is called Arzereth, which is another land. That's basically that's Hebrew, I believe. And that land in today's age will be considered to be the Americas, or North America, South America, and the Caribbean. And then then the world they there until the latter time. So basically, they reside there to the latter time, which is the time that we're living in on right now. And now when they shall begin to come, and basically, so basically they live on that land to the last days, which is the time that we're living on right now. So I was gonna show you like the picture of. I think I already showed the picture of that. Let me see what I got. Land of Arzereth. Uh, 46, 46. Give me 1 second. So I don't have anything. So yeah, so that was the mainland, the Northern Kingdom was gonna come over. So they mostly moved from away from when they left the Assyrian captivity. They come on that side of the world, which is America that we know. So they said they can practice their custom, like follow the law, do all those holidays that they used to do when the nation was rolled together, basically. But that didn't last long. So as soon as they come there, they do it for a little season. They went right back and doing all this sort of wickedness, and that's one of the reasons that the Most High bring us back again in captivities under the Edomites, because for like a brief period of time, the entire nation of Israel they were completely separate. Like the northern kingdom was for a period of time was completely irrelevant to the southern kingdom, basically, man. But that's why like when you read the well, that's why when you read about the Jews, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they didn't even consider the northern kingdom to be Israelite. They considered them to be heathens. They didn't even care about them. So like I said from the beginning, like the kingdom has been split after the death of King Solomon. So from that time to nowadays, the nation has never been as a nation as a whole ever again. So Yahweh Shah Mashiach is gonna bring us together as a nation. Even though like in this day and age we're living right now, the entire nation of Israel under captivity, under the Edomite captivity. Because let me show you when you look at the map of the captivity that the nation of Israel has been on. So the first big captivity we were on as a nation was basically Egyptian captivity from 1500 BC. Then after that we got Assyrian captivity. That was like a northern kingdom. That's one. That's the period which is 720 BC. That's when they come on that side of the world, the land of Arzereth. From that time on, they lived there by themselves till this modern day. So we have not all the rest of the captivity was like a Babylonian captivity, 586 BC. That was Southern Kingdom. When you go to Persian captivity, 538 BC, that was also Southern Kingdom. When it comes to Greek captivities, that was when it comes to Greek Roman captivities, 32, I mean 332 BC and 7 AD, that was also still Southern Kingdoms. Like when you said the last captivity, which is like American captivity, that's now you can basically put in the all the tribes. But when you say the American captivity, you have to, I would say basically European captivities from 1490, from 1492 till now, since the Edomites started coming back into power. You know, the book of those captivity started when we start catching hell heavy around 1600s, but the entire nation were under either if it was like a French, British, Spanish, Dutch, um, um, any of the European countries. It's like any of basically the entire 12 tribes been under captivity under all those Edomite nations, whether it's British, French, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, German, Italians, they are still Edomites. So that's like the last captivities like the nation has been in captivity. That's the last nation the Israel has been under captivity. Because like right now we live in Babylon the Great, which is the Edomite, American Edomites, and they have the American Edomites have all the 12 tribes in captivity. Even though a lot of people don't think we are in captivities, a lot of people they think that captivity is when you have a chains on your neck, your ankles, and your wrist. That's captivity. Or when you have a whip on your back. When you doing when you working on plantation. That's people mindset of captivity. They don't think like when you waking up working or what is like morning shift or evening shift or graveyard shift. That's captivity. They don't think of it like that. They be like, well, I'm getting paid. Getting paid doesn't mean anything. You're literally getting peanuts. What's the difference between making 400 $1,000 a week just to within that $1,000 you have to pay your car insurance. Let me say $1,500 because let's just say your rent is 2,000 depending where you live. Plus, I'm assuming you're gonna live with your family members, so you get like out of $2,000, you probably paying $700. You got another family member paying another $600 to $700. Basically, you guys you have to pay your car insurance, your light bills, your gas bill. You have to support your children. That the entire paycheck that you made is already gone. So now you only have like a max $200 on your account. So basically, as soon as that paycheck is finished, you literally waiting for the next paycheck to come by, and the same cycle happen again, man. So you have no savings. So it really is, you can't really go anywhere. That is pure captivity. Cause like the other $200 that you making, you can't go anywhere with that. You can be like, oh, I'm going on vacation to this country because you have to buy the ticket, you have to book stuff. That could easily take you 1,000 to 15, nearly $2,000 vacations. And I know Jake specifically say they have to book their vacation ahead of time because they have to put money on the side. Like each paycheck drop like $100. If that's not captivity, I don't know what that is. So that's the lesson. So I pray that's another edifying lesson to the folks. And I show various pictures of the nation of Israel from the northern and southern kingdom, the split, and yeah, I think I showed that picture already. The split of the nations, and also outside of the split, the where what's the location of northern and southern kingdom, and I also show you the map of the 12 tribes, and I show you like the top three was basically the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and the bottom 9 is basically the northern kingdom, which is from it shows you from Simeon all the way to Issachar, and the head of those each of the kingdoms, like the northern is a kingdom which is the house of Israel, which is led by Ephraim, house of Israel, which is the so-called Puerto Ricans, and the head of the southern kingdom, which is Judah, which is the so-called Negroes. But the head of the entire nation is basically the house of Judah, basically the so-called Negroes or African Americans. So that's the lesson. So I pray that's another edifying lessons to the flocks and whether the most I want to this message and let it be heard. And with that, I'd like to say, Shalom.